Welcome to another edition of Talking with WIT, Kevin and Son, and the people you should know. This episode is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. Through the power of our story, our mission is to uplift through your voice, inspire, share stories and experiences and perspectives using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is hope, helping other people every single day. Now, whatever your objective is, successful people create a framework around their day to day lives that enhances their life. And like my guests here, they pour into others. This podcast will reveal two people's secrets to a highly effective life. Today's guest will share with you simple and doable steps as to how to turn bad habits into good, mastering small behaviors that lead to big outcomes. In short, we'll be talking about breaking rules and building dreams. Oprah Winfrey says, surround yourself with people who reflect your values and challenge you to grow. Well, our guests not only did that, they're doing that. As one, they are both successful, but together, they are the stuff that dreams are made of. Collectively, they have coached and mentored almost 1,000 students. No, I'm going to correct myself. I'm over almost 1 million students together. If you look at the number, they both have been USA best-selling authors. They have both been TEDx speakers and have worked with numerous 6 and 7 figure businesses. With multiple years of experience in publishing, the two have authored themselves best-selling books. Together, they have the secret sauce to the next level of what an entrepreneur's journey should be. Today, we will learn how they got started on their entrepreneurial journey. We will also learn how they managed as a couple to do business together. And then we will also share with you the value of publishing with an independent label and how you can get published as well. I am going to welcome, and I'm a Southern boy, so I'm going to introduce Shush Dutta first, and then I'm going to introduce her husband, Ash Goel, second. So welcome to Talking with Kevin and Son. How you doing, guys?
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for having me over here, Kevin, and I'm very excited for what we are going to unfold today.
Absolutely. It's a
All right.
pleasure, Kevin, and we're really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for an amazing introduction, and we are really looking forward to the discussion.
Would you like me to do the introduction again?
Well, we can hear it all day long.
Well, let me tell you this. Gratitude is a big space for me. If you had to write a letter to your parents about the life lessons that they have taught you, Ashley, I'm going to ask you first. I'm going against my Southern upbringings. What would you say to your parents?
I would just tell them that the upbringing that they did made me the man that I am today. The values that were inculcated in me, the value of hard work, the value of taking action, and just ensuring that whatever dreams we have in life, we keep on going towards them, is all that matters to be successful in this life. And they were able to put in the right values by action, not just by telling. And I am very, very thankful for them for such an amazing upbringing.
And I'm going to thank your parents for such an amazing son. We do know the most powerful human being on this earth is a woman. If you look at the percentages of births in this world, because there are gifts, there's more women born than men on this earth. So I am going to segue the same question to the greatest gift the human race can ever have. So you're a better half, and she happens to be a woman representing women, and she started a company featuring women. Shush. If you were to say to your parents in a letter, and we talk about gratitude and the gifts that they've given you based on what they taught you, what would you say to your parents?
I just will say thank you for whatever they did. Being a daughter, I know that um, with their situation, with what they had, they did their best. So at least my dad and my dad taught me to be happy and to be content with what you have. My mom, she, not by telling, but by doing, she showed me that being a woman, you have a responsibility way more than anything else but your family. Because I saw my mom sacrificing her career, sacrificing almost everything for us, I, in the back of my mind, I know, I mean, it's all hunky-dory when I say, oh my God, I value my family first. I want to, like, put my family first. But when I think back, it's all because that is what I saw. As that is what she probably, that is what she prioritized. And all I can say is, again, that what we learn by action is what we implement and who we become. So I can just thank my parents for what they did. And maybe in future, if I can become 1% like them, probably I will also have a child that I can be proud of.
You know something? I will tell you as a father, I love my children. Life becomes very real when you bring another life into the world. You talk about the exclamation point on what your why really is. When you bring a child in the world, you find out why you even exist. Now,
Absolutely.
both of you in your own right, I said this early on, are hugely successful. But we know every single person that has ever accomplished anything in life, anything in the relationship, had to overcome some good times and bad times. Now, Shush, you have a very powerful TEDx speech out there. You talk about as a woman of having to make choice for family or career. And I know a lot of women are struggling with this. And Ash, you and I have had conversation when we first met about the difficulties of dealing with business and showing up as we are today and being ignored of our talents and our gifts just strictly because of ignorance, because they can't get past what they think they see versus what they're hearing. I'm going to ask Shush first to share her experience on how being a mom, a stay-at-home wife and family, and then turning family into a successful story as a millionaire global publisher. You remember that story in the TEDx speech? Tell us a little bit about how you put that together. You don't have to go through the whole speech, but you had a strong message to women when it came to choices in their life, because everything is about chance and choice. And you took a chance of putting your family first, and God bless you to blend the family and your success of your business. So if you can share that story with us.
Absolutely. That's like, my entire being is surrounded by the story, by my real need and want of what I have done and what I will be doing forever in my life. So I will start by saying that I'm a person who I'm rebel, but a person with a cause, not just, okay, I don't want to do this. There's no, that's not the kind of a rebel I am. I am like, if I'm saying I don't want to follow, I will have a very strong reason why. Now, when it comes to marriage. So I'll have to give a little bit of cultural background.
Please
So
do.
I always say that in India, and I'm born and brought up in India, and I belong from Indian culture. I put it this way: we as a woman are always said and told what not to do rather than what to do. So in the process of learning what not to do, we forget what we really want to do in life. And because of that, and it's like, when I got married, when I was getting married, and the first thing, and I was asked was that my husband, would-be husband, is very well off. He was like, making very good money at that time. And I had no other need to, like, hey, all we want is you to take care of your family, and you don't have to work. And because my son, like, my husband makes good money. But that did not resonate with me. I was like, money, identity has nothing to do with, like, together. I will choose when I don't want to work. And then, long story short, I got married, and I decided, because we got married after a lot of trouble. Like, we fought to get married for 2 years because, we come from conservative family, and his side of family is like not appreciative of like choosing partner on your own. So it was unheard of. So we broke the rule actually in the entire family. Now everybody is doing that. So we are the actually rule breaker and icebreaker, you can say, in the entire family. So that time, so I was like, we fought so hard. So when we moved to US, all I wanted was to enjoy with my husband. And I wanted to do nothing, just have fun, cook, because cooking is like, I just love that. So, and when I moved there, at that time, I left my job. I was a program manager, and with, like, world biggest publishing houses I was working. I was into editorial. So I had a very, very good, lucrative career that I left behind. And back in like 2010, 2011, that time, people never heard of working from home. Because of my, like, credibility, I was offered that. So that is the career I left. And I was happy. No complaints. I was absolutely happy with my decisions. Like, and we were roaming around. We were like, my friends was like, Sush, do you guys ever be at home? Like, we landed in US, and 15 days after, we went to visit like Lake George. We were all new, and we were like still probably getting out of the jet lag. And we were like, no, let's go. And one fine day we came. But I started noticing, Kevin, people start judging you whenever you try to participate in intelligent conversation where so-called working men and women, and then they're like, okay, your opinion doesn't matter really, because you are a housewife. What do you know? So then one fine day, I was with my friends, and I came from Vegas, and it was super fun. One statement that changed my life was, I was talking about my trip and this and that, all happy, and it was like, "Hey, Sush, you're just a housewife," and I was like, the entire world stopped. It's like, is that statement is the definition of my intelligence, my intellect? What do I know and what I can achieve? It should not be. And then everything unfolded for me. I was like, it happened not only, I'm not the new one. I'm not reinventing, like, I'm not creating a new thing. It had happened for years, and it's happening till now. And then I learned that it is so common that when a woman chooses to stay at home, till today, Kevin, you won't believe when I tell people that I cook all the 3 meals at my home myself. I love doing that. I love to feed my family. People are like, you are a businesswoman. You cook? You know how to cook? Where is the connection? I'm a human being first. So there is a particular notion that people have attached that, okay, if you are a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home woman, and stay-at-home wife, these are the things you should be. If you are staying at home, you should know how to cook. What if the woman doesn't want to cook, doesn't like to cook? And like, there are notions, and I wouldn't use the word hate, but I absolutely dislike when people put a notion of their understanding as a label on someone. So the same thing happened. And long story short, I was like, you know what? I will always be a housewife. I will label myself a housewife first, and then I will build an empire from home, and I will see how that's not done. And that's where my rebel factor came in. And rest is history.
And for those of you that are listening to Shush's story, Google Shush Dutta, D-U-T-A, and listen to her TEDx speak, because I will tell you the one thing she does at the end of it, she drops the mic, and not only is she a housewife, she's a real millionaire housewife. Now, Ash, I'm going to turn this over to you. And the reason why I'm going to turn over to you, because I say all the time, being a man, no matter what skin color you are, is an endangered species. And when I listened to your TEDx speech, you said something that resonated that a lot of employers need to hear. I say this in my presentation is that when you lose good people, especially entrepreneurs, and you see them succeeding, they don't leave because they fell out of love with the company they work with. The reason why they leave is that the manager or the boss they had gave them a reason to stop loving the work that they were doing. Well, that was a good quote. We should write that down. So I know it touched me to my heart when you told me that you had, in your TEDx speech, had given a presentation on a multi-million-dollar program. And not only were you not invited to the celebration as you put it together, you were not even given the credit for putting together the program in your TEDx speech. So if you can go ahead and peel back the layers to the conversation a little bit of that story and the points of that story, please share that, because I want people to know not only the successful part of what you two have accomplished, and we'll be coming up and talking about that, but every storm has a calm in it, and you both had to overcome personal attacks against family and friends that liked you, the biases of people that didn't understand you, and that people, when they see and hear this story now, will sit back and celebrate the fact that they're not a part of your story going forward. So please share with us your story.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kevin. So, yeah, so I think I was hired for a US role, and we moved to the US. I was selling into all the big banks on the Wall Street, and I was handling multi-million-dollar portfolios. In fact, one of my clients, we were making close to $87 million with that client. And when you are kind of confidante of these, so if I look at the revenue, it was more than $10 billion for that bank. And we were the trusted partners with them. And typically in the corporate world, as a lot of people say, it is not only about the hard work that you're doing, it's about the mind work that you need to do. So if you just keep on doing the hard work and not really telling anyone about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what results you're getting, at the end of the day, people will never recognize the efforts that you put in, and the results that were achieved was because of your efforts and not anyone else. So me, I am a little bit of a shy person, and that's why when I used to just put my head down and keep on doing my work, because back in India, my home, everyone kind of, or my parents specifically told me, Ash, just put your head down and work hard. People will recognize your talent and your efforts. And that kind of ingrained in my brain that I just keep on working hard. I don't want to tell, because the always the superstition in my mind has been, if I speak good about me with others, if I boast about me, the some bad luck will come and change my destiny. So I used to always be, only talk about the hard work and not talk about what all I have achieved. So I was bidding for this multi-million dollar contract, and remember, like I was working for a global multinational corporation, and we have offices in around 22 different countries. And when I was bidding for this multi-million dollar project, the teams were in three different time zones: US, Australia, and India. And that means I need to be available probably 24 by 7, because the Sunday night in India is Monday morning in the India. Sunday
US.
night in the US is Monday morning in India. And
Right.
uh, Australia is a completely, like, my night is their morning. So it's like
Right.
every time I am the one who is leading the entire project. So if anyone has any pressing questions, they will come and ask me, because I'm the final decision maker on whether we should include this, or what kind of pricing are we selling, everything. And I was working really, really hard and giving constant updates to the my manager, saying, hey, this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what happening, right? And then by God's grace, we were able to win that RFP. And then the toughest part in these multi-million dollar deals is the contract negotiation. It was close to 100 pages of contracts that we needed to kind of go through, negotiate all the red lines created by our legal team, and convince their legal team to accept it. And it's a long process. It took us probably around 5 to 6 weeks to just get the basic things done. And all in all, it probably took like 2.5 months. But the downside of that 2.5 months is people forget the effort that was put to win the deal, and they're just looking at this now, right? And some decisions I had to go to my executive vice president or CEO to get those approvals, and that was typically taken by my manager or manager's manager. And then we did get the deal signed, but the credit was not given to me. Why? Because, hey, I'm just a person who is working on the deal, but all the work was at the last done by the senior management. So it was very, very disheartening. And as Kevin, you mentioned, a lot of the times in the corporate world, it's like people don't recognize your value. And if I look back, I think the fault is not theirs, fault is ours a lot of times, because we don't know the secret sauce to be able to be recognized. For example, I was fortunate enough to hire a mentor, Armand Morin, back in 2016. And he is the founder of Marketing University, being very well recognized in the marketing world. And he told me a few things which completely changed my perspective, opened up my mind like crazy. And as we say, always say, mind is like a umbrella. It works the best when it's open. So he, like, a very simple thing nowadays, when I go, let's say to a big conference, and I need to introduce myself, I tell them, hey, I am Ash. I'm a little bit of shy, and that's why I have had a full form of my name, Ash, as always say hi. So since I am being a little bit of shy person, I may not say hi to you, but you should always come and say hi to me. So I am telling about my weakness and still inviting others to come and say hi to me. So these small nuggets can completely change the people's perspective about it. So I think that mentor completely transformed my life in terms of how to position yourself, being a different skin color, establishing our business in the US, Canada, selling a high ticket items. It was struggling, but still, because of that mentor, we were able to position ourselves as a premium brand rather than being uh, Hondas of the CRV or Hondas of the cars. We position ourselves as Porsche or Audis of the cars, and that really helped us out.
Well, I'm so glad that you broke down Ash for me. It says always say hello. I got to shorten up my hashtag. Mine is find 1,000 reasons to be kind to someone. And you just broke it down. ASH, ask. You know something? I'm going to tell you before we get into the business aspect to talk about publishing and talking about people's dreams and how you guys are making dreams come true. You're not that shy. I mean, I've spoken to you, and you're not shy. You're shy at all because when people look at Ash and then look at Shush, it takes a very confident man to walk up to that woman and say, "I want you to be my wife." Especially going through cultural differences. The title of the show is "Breaking Rules and Building Dreams." Ash, I'm just for fun. How did you propose to Shush? No, wait a minute. Let me ask Shush. Shush, how did Ash propose to you? Because I know he was cool. He probably put on his John Travolta shoes, suit, had a coat thrown over his back, and he walked in with his sunglasses, tilted a little bit, and says, "Hey, I'm not even going to date you. You're just going to marry me." How did that work out?
So, before I answer that, I have to tell you, and I'm very proud to admit that, today what you are seeing me and what the world is seeing me as a woman that I have become is this man over here is who made me who I am. And I'm not shy even saying, I tell that to him all the time. He knows that. He knows very well. And I was very different. I was like, I was not who I am today. The confidence that what I could become is because of the kind of support he gave me from the beginning. So when he decided that this girl is going to be my future wife, or I'm going to spend the rest of my life, you got to ask him. Why did he do that? Because I don't have answer. Like if I am today, what I am is like I can say, okay, so she is this, she is smart, I was none of this. When 15 years back, I was absolutely nobody. He is from one of the premium colleges in institutes in India where it's like 0.001% people get chance. He is a math genius. Like, I cannot even tell you like his level of genius. So I don't know how I got this lucky, but the question definitely is to him. Why did he chose me to be who I am, but to be his wife, but to propose? I can tell you that it was not like, back in 15 years back, we still don't understand the dating game because we are old school, so old school that we never dated. I mean, he is my first, I'm his first, done. We are married. Okay, so I don't understand when today's generation tell like, we dated, we did. I mean, of course, we watch Netflix and Prime, so we have started to understand something, but I haven't seen Tinder till date. Okay. I don't know how that looks. That left swipe, right swipe. I have no idea. What is that?
Don't swipe anything unless you're swiping at flies.
So
Hey, Ash.
it's like like I have no idea. So it's like when it proposal happened was we were friends, and from friends to like then I don't know, it just happened naturally, like he thought I should be, I thought he should be, and we became.
Ash, you know something? I'm going to tell you the way she tells it. I'm a straight man. I'd have proposed to you too. Yeah, she says it like that. That's just beautiful. Now, Ash, I've said this before. You know, everyone's searching for happiness, and I've always said, and I think I sent you guys this once, is that happiness is something you carry with you. Who are the five people in your life? And we all have a circle of friends. And Jim Rohn says this: you become like the five people you spend your most time with. Who's in your circle?
Well, first and foremost, my beautiful wife, Shush. So I would say she's the topmost person who is responsible for all the happiness in the world. The next two would be my parents, who have built me up, who are there to support and always kind of boosting me up and be supportive. Next two, I would say, is so I typically or will always have family, friends, and mentors. So the fourth one I would say is my friend. So I would say Pravesh Dudani would be the fourth one. And this guy has changed the way I look at things right from when I was 17, 18 years old. At school, when we were doing our engineering, he was there with me, and the ideas that he had, even though he comes from a very rich family, we were a middle class people, but the kind of intellect and the kind of drive that this gentleman has, he is now the founder of um, one of the universities in India, and there are probably less than 40 universities in a country of a like several billion people. So like I met him a couple of times last year as well, and he's always thinking the next, what is next. So I would say the fourth to be him, and fifth I would give it to my mentor. Right now, we are in the mentorship program board of experts with Anik Singhal. He is his revenue numbers are close to $46 million a year. Again, very very dynamic individual. But the most important thing that resonate with us is he's very very straightforward. He will always be like, hey, this is what needs to be done, period. And second, he's not afraid to take decisions. How many people do we know who will be stuck in the same business forever? He could change the businesses every 8 months and still be successful, still make it multi-million dollars businesses, brand new business within 6 to 8 months or maximum in a year, which is a phenomenal quality. Because let's say if I talk about any big millionaire, let's say, or Elon Musk is another one. He could build up Tesla, he could have SpaceX, he could have uh, Twitter or X now. But if you let's think about Bill Gates or think about Mark Zuckerberg, they started with Facebook and kept on improving it, but not start something very on. Obviously, they are much bigger, but I think that gives us the happiness, gives us the support, as well as gives us the confidence that we can achieve what we set our eyes to. So we are really grateful for, or I'm really grateful to all these 5 people.
All right. Good job. Good job. Now, this is for the hard part of the story. Now we know who both of you guys are. You're happily married. You both have started successful business and blended together. Rebel Publishing and Global Publishing. You guys are both the co-founders and the founders of two very successful companies. And again, Tush, millionaire housewife in real life. Shai, ask Shush, say hello, ask Shush hello, hi or happiness every single day. I forgot the acronym that you put it together. I'm glad, one, you guys are together. I'm glad that you do not allow outside forces to define you as a person in your relationship nor in business. I hope the people that you had worked for are looking at your success and saying, how did I miss that? Because you would have brought much success to their business. So you guys can pick Global Publishing, Rebel Publishing. How did you get started in publishing? Because every single business has ever gotten started has gone through some rough times. Church, tell us about starting the business, and then tell us, you went out and sought a partner to work with you, and he happened to be the guy next door on the other pillow. How do you guys manage work, relationship, life, dreams, and hard times, and overcoming hard times together as a couple? I'll let either one of you answer that question.
Ash, would you like to go ahead first?
No, you go ahead.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So basically, Kevin, before we started, and now we do the end-to-end programs. And so we have Epic Publishing, and we have PQ, that is Personalized Partnership Publishing. So these are the two programs that we do. And but before that, because I come from book publishing background already, so I worked with the biggest publishers of the world as editors, project managers, and project manager and more. So I had a very extensive background in terms of publishing. I was helping authors for editing, sometimes publishing. Like, there are different steps in publishing. So it was all a la carte. I was doing that. I was sometimes teaching. I was doing the work for them and all that. But then I published my book. And then after that, I was like, you know what? There was this author who, not author that time, a friend of mine who came to me, and she was like, hey, Sush, you did it. Your book is amazing. How did you do that? And I told her, this is how I do, and this is what I do. And so tell me, where do you need the help? Because at that time, I was still doing a la carte, right? Like some editing, some designing, some formatting, and blah, 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 all the stuffs in the editing, in the publishing world. So I wanted to ask her that, where did you need help? And she was like, I need help everywhere. Like, whatever you are saying, I need everything. And I was like, oh, everything? How am I going to do that? So I was like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And so I went home, and that was the time we had our marketing session with my mentor, Arman Morin. So we went there, and as Ash was telling, we owe a big part of our confidence to him. Frankly, we come from a background where it is you should not talk about yourself. Like, at that time in 2016, I had 2016, 17, I had 75,000 students on Udemy. And I was like, when Armand asked me, introduce yourself, I was like, I'm Susmita. I teach on Udemy. I have just around 75,000 students, like that. And he was like, say what? I said, like, how many did you say? 75 students. I was like, no, 75,000. He's like, are you kidding me? You are shy to say 75,000 students? How many people in the room has that? And I was like, oh, should I be proud about it? You should toot your horn. He was like that. He's like, and then every time he met, he's like, how many students? Say loud, say this. And that inculcated the confidence in me that, you know what? I think I'm becoming someone. I need to just believe in myself. So long story short, we went and I believe him. Like, I am a very teachable, coachable person. So if my mentor says it, it's okay. Although Ash told me, so you need to ask her the price, ask her the full, like, and I was like, being a husband, he has a disadvantage. Like, I won't listen to him at just one go. So I will protest. So I did, being a wife. So I went to my mentor, and then there was like, all the other business people making million, like having established business for 30 years, 40 years. And then my mentor, Armand told us, Armand is like, so you're going to ask the price. I was debating him that time that no, it is too much. Why would someone pay this much? Why would someone, like, I was giving all the reasons not to ask money for my time.
Mhm.
And but my mentor told me the biggest advantage with me is, if my mentor, or even till date, even with Ash, if he or my mentor or anyone tells me to do something and they have done it successfully, I will follow it. Even if I will cry, but I will follow. So I came home and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to work with the author. I know she's going to say no. We could have made some money. Now you guys are asking me to, ask the full high ticket price. She will never say yes. And with all those, I finally wrote an email and sent it to her. And the next reply, after probably few hours, was like, it's okay, Sush. I'll do it. Started price. And that was a change in my perception, Kevin. And I was like, I need to first respect my time to even ask people to respect theirs. So having said that, so that's how, and I stopped all a la carte, everything. I was like, to produce a book, which is like, there are many aspects, and we will do end to end so that we know it has top-notch quality. We know what works. So that is when the P-Cube and the Epic Publishing, of course, with Ash's technical intellect and his genius on technology and stuff and future vision. He's a visionary. And yeah, that's how it started. July 2019. We closed everything and started our P-Cube and our Epic program.
And that's again, before I ask Ash this question, I'm gonna have some fun with you, Ash. How does someone get in touch with you? And Shush or Ash, one of you guys can answer that.
Sure. So they can, write to us, email, or email is ash@globalbookpublishing.com, or they can just reach out to our support team. They are very, very proactive, support@globalbookpublishing.com. Or to know more about us, they can go to the website, globalbookpublishing.com. Very easy, globalbookpublishing.com. And they will get to know everything about our company. And one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is keep on thinking about whether they should go with a traditional publishing or self-publishing. And I say both are dead. Now it's all about epic publishing or partnership publishing, which is the unique kind of publishing where you get 100% control, 100% royalties, and 100% reach. Earlier, traditional used to give 100% reach, but less than 10% royalties. Self, 100% royalties, but very like less than 10% reach. So we combined the benefits of both based on Shushi's expertise working with multiple top traditional houses, and we could provide with 100% control, 100% copyrights, and 100% reach. So if anyone is interested to get those benefits and have your professionally published book, we are the company to work with.
You are the go-to guy. I'm going to have a little fun with you because when looking over your bio, it has AI part of that. But I also know as being a power couple. Ash, I probably should ask you this when your wife is not here. So I'm going to mute her so she doesn't hear your answer. Ash, who's the boss?
She's the boss. She has the final say for everything. But
All right.
but to be honest, I think we value each other's opinions and decisions, and we take collaborative decision. A lot of times we have our strengths and we both know what they are, and we trust each other. I think that's the most important part in running any business.
Now, you mentioned some things, and you were ahead of some of my notes. So you've already answered the question. One of the questions I wanted to ask you. Your bio also lists that the fact that you are an expert with AI. How does AI conversation with publishing books? How does that relationship? How do you do that?
Very, very important question, Kevin, specifically right now. So, 3 people reached out to us in the last 2 weeks and just saying, can you guys help us? And the thing is, Amazon first restricted their account and now banned their account because they found that manuscript that was sent to Amazon or uploaded on Amazon had AI written content. And it's been, as I've said, been 2 weeks. The two gentlemen and one lady, they're calling them every single day, spending hours kind of figuring out what can they do to really make them assure them that it's not copyright infringement. Still, nothing is happening. And understand, Kevin, these books were uploaded or being published 6 months back. All 3 of them, one of them even had more than 100 reviews. One of them had around 56 reviews. Third one had some 30 reviews. So they had reviews, they had buyers, they had good traction, sales happening. Still, Amazon banned it. So writing book with AI, as I always tell my authors, there are 2 things. One is use AI for brainstorming ideas to get new ideas, but don't use it to write the book. And second, there are 2 types of book: legacy book and marketing book. If you're writing a book to create a legacy, then write it yourself. If you're creating a book for marketing, well, then you can use AI, but then don't upload it on Amazon. Reason being, hey, if they ban you, you're banned for life. What if you need to come, publish another book, maybe some different topic 5 years down the line? Amazon will still not allow you to open a new account. So for marketing books, as we do it, we help our authors market their books. We help them create sales, add reviews, create book funnels for them. So marketing books, use it for book funnels. Sell it for $5 and then upsell them into your coaching programs, your consulting programs, your softwares, whatever you need, but don't upload a AI written book on Amazon. That could trouble your Amazon author profile, Amazon account for the rest of your life. So that would be my suggestion, whosoever is looking for AI to write the books. And
I
ju- just to add another thing is, we have created a new program on how to publish AI written books. And uh, what it talks about is, what are the 6 levels of editing every AI written book needs. So when people say, hey, I have my book written with AI and I'm good, and I start selling it, no, it needs to go through that 6 editing phases to be really ready to be actually sold, even the first copy. So whosoever is thinking it, my honest opinion is, please invest some time in the editing of the book as well. Even if you are confident it is written perfectly by AI, you will be just surprised on the nuances of AI, which could be caught by an editor, which you may not be able to do.
All right. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up. I'm never going to write a book on AI because I'm lazy. I'd rather write it myself. I have these thoughts that go through my head. But I know, Sush, I get asked all the time, when people find out that I am a published author and I'm going to spend some time and work with you guys off camera and talk about what I should be doing, is I've always wanted to write a book. Oh, I have a story that will make a great book. I just don't know where to get started. How do I do this? When you hear that conversation, if someone has a great book or a book idea, walk me through the process of a conversation you would have with me. Now, my biggest thing when I first started writing, and I'll be honest, I was afraid of red ink. And I've been lucky enough to have an editor that knows my words. And when I speak, I talk about the power of your words. She knows what I'm saying. I'm that person that almost graduated from college without being able to read or write, and no one would have believed other than me that I was going to be a 4-time published author. But sure, so I came to you. And the reason why I'm asking you, because Ash scares the hell out of me. There's no way I'm going to ask him this question being a man. I want to write a book, Sush. I got this great story that needs to be told. I just don't know where to start. Please help me. What are you going to say to me as a first-time author?
Wonderful, lovely question. And the first thing, Kevin, I would ask you is, what is your why? There are just 2 things that I need to know. First is why? Why do you want to write this book? What is that need? Second question is, what is your goal with your book? Now, I'll elaborate on these 2 simple questions. One is, when I ask you what is your why, I am not looking for what is your real why. I'm looking for, do you really want to write this book? Or were you told that, hey, you know what, Kevin, you should write the book, you should write the book. And you don't really have that need and want in you. You just want that, okay, somebody told me, I think I will do it because book will make me a lot of money. Book will make me an authority. Book will well, these things that I just said, they are not wrong. You can totally have that want. That can be your why, and that's okay. If someone tells me that, hey, Sush, I want to make money with my book, absolutely amazing. But you need to know that you want to do that. Do you know that? Second is, what is your goal with the book? Now, whatever book you're writing, whatever, I can also write the same book. Ash can also write the same book. You will be writing the same book. Exact same topic. No diversion. Let me put it that way. Exact same stories. No diversion. Exact same teaching. But you know what? My audience, people will connect with me different. People, those who connect with you will be different. And people, those who connect with Ash will be different. Because all 3 of our goals with the same book is different. Now, why is goal important? Goal is important because your entire book writing will be re-engineered. I call it reverse engineering. Based on your goal, everything will be reverse engineered to your book. If you want to use your book for lead generation, then your book has to be equipped with lead magnets, with with the research that you do. And this is what we learned from our mentor, Anik, and I apply it, Ash applied, we applied big time. That is, your feelings can be indecisive. Your feelings can change. What doesn't change is data, stats. If you follow through with the right data, right statistics, you know exactly how to get the result. So knowing your exact goal with your book will enable you. And goal can be anything. It could be just, you know what, Sush? I have authors who has only one want. That is that I want to change one life with my story. I had an author, like a children's book author. Her entire dream was, I have a grandson. I want to, leave this book as a legacy. And today her book is in the libraries and whatnot and what. But when your why and your goal come together, you can create a product that's profound. So my question to you will only be these two. Rest everything, we got it covered.
All right, Ash, you're the marketing whiz here. Everyone's trying to find out. There's so many ways of marketing your product on social media. I'm going to ask a dumb question, and you're going to tell me I'm stupid for asking, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's the best way to market your book, and what's the best social media platform for authors?
Great question, Kevin. And it is $1 million question, to be honest.
Do I owe you now?
Sorry. So I think first and foremost, there is no one single answer. It depends on your audience and whether, again, so I always say the best place to market is where your audience is hanging, right? So let's say if it is teenagers, people in 20s, 30s, right now, it could be Instagram or TikTok. If it is 30 plus, 30s, 40s, 50s, I may see more Facebook. If it is 60 plus, I may see TikTok and Instagram more. Facebook, yes, but Instagram, TikTok, why? Because the grandparents are typically there on that platforms to see their grandkids. So it's about the where your market is kind of hanging around. It's a very, very important piece. But it is overall, I would say that once you figure out, let's say, top 5 to 10 places where you want to promote, it could be various Facebook groups, it could be LinkedIn groups, it could be LinkedIn. Like if it's your target audience is working professionals, it could be LinkedIn. If it is, let's say, motorcycle enthusiasts, then it could be Harley's communities. So you need to figure out 10 different places where your target audience would be hanging, and then build some trust, gives back to that community a little bit more. Some people, what they do is they will join the group and they will start promoting themselves. That is not the right way. Build relationships, give back to the community, and then after a week or two, you just say, "Hey, I have this book coming out. Would there be anyone who might be interested?" That's the right way to do it. And typically, for the books, we have 3 phases of the book promotions so that you are really, really be able to get the maximum benefit out of it. The first one is called book pre-selling. So when you start, or even before you start writing the book, or when you're writing the book, you give your target audience, hey, I am thinking to write a book on how AI can be used to market myself better, or using AI for marketing. Or let me put it a different one: how to use a book for authority building. So now there will be a lot of people who would want to write a book to build themselves an authority. They say, hey, how can I read your book? That time you don't say, when I will get my book finished, I will send you a link. You tell them then and there, hey, you're interested? Here is the payment link. I might be selling my book for $25. Right now, it's just $10. You pay it, and I will have it for you. So that's one way. Second way, a lot of people do is crowdfunding. You go to crowdfunding platforms and start pre-selling your book. So that helps you do better customer research. Second phase is pre-launch, book pre-launch. It typically happens after you have created the book cover, finalized the book title, and at that time, what you are doing is you're telling, hey, this is the book. Now you can visualize this book. And this is a pre-launch phase. I am launching it on 1st of January. So tell me, do you want to be an authority in 2025? Then just buy for this book. So now I'm doing second round of promotions for the pre-launch. And then the third is the actual launch phase. Over there, you will create an entire narrative for people so that they start to see you as an authority. So what I would do is, since from Thanksgiving until 1st of January, for 30 days, I will just write posts about, hey, how a book has helped Tony Robbins, or how a book has helped um, uh, like Brendan Bouchard or Dan Martel, and then they will see it's a powerful thing, and then they will buy it. So you would need a plan to be able to get your book really, really high up in the authority, and people start to give you more reviews. Like, I'll give you an example, Kevin. So an author came to us. His book was published 3 years back. He had a few sales in the first 3 months, and in the last 15 months, he sold less than 15 copies together, right? And he said, Ash, I think my book is not worth it, or Amazon just ghosted me and no one is reading my book. So I told Jeff, what have you done to really promote your book? He said, hey, I thought Amazon will keep on doing promotions. I said, Amazon will only promote you if they see a value in your book. Right now, you only have 9 reviews. You only have 15 sales in the last 15 months. Why would Amazon do it? So we did so they hired us for book marketing. We did an entire strategy. We kind of looked at the different elements. We improved their book description, book graphics, put the different advanced reader reviews, and within, you'll not imagine, Kevin, we were able to make it an international bestseller within 60 days. We were able to kickstart the Amazon algorithm. The guys sold paid 100 copies within 2 months, just because of all that things happening. So it's very important to keep on building a narrative and keep on marketing the book as much. So we always recommend our authors to do quarterly book launches. So book launch is not one time. It's every quarter you should do book launch, book launch, book launch. And that will keep the Amazon algorithm active.
All right. I have learned a lot, and I'll be talking to you about launching my, I don't know. I'll talk to you. I've learned a lot because I was asked when I first started is, who's your audience, and how do you know who your audience is when you don't have an audience. I wasn't even on social media yet. How do you find out your audience?
So I would always, recommend this book called Ask by Ryan Levick. Wonderful book. And he talks about, like, a lot of people say that my audience is everyone. Everyone will get benefited out of it, right? So as we say in the marketing, if you're if you are targeting everyone, you are serving no one.
Right.
No one will read it. So, and like we do qualify. So it's not that we work with everyone. We kind of work with the people who are really passionate about what they do. And the first question they ask us is, Ash, well, why would anyone read my book or my novel if there is a Harry Potter out there? Or why would anyone read, how to have a money mindset if Think and Grow Rich is out there? Well, they will read your book because they will resonate with your story, with your pain point. So, with the pain point that you are addressing in your book. So, the most important part is you need to foresee, as an author, who would be your ideal customer, men or women? Which country are they living in? US, Europe, Asia, Australia? How many kids would they have? How much money would they be making? What are the main pain points they would have? Are they living in a rural area or urban area? What are their dreams? What are their pain points? What are their struggles? So, if I were to ask you, you have written quite a number of books, right, Kevin? So, if I ask you, let's say, the world is not ready for you. Well, hey, it is an amazing book that is valuable for each and every one. It could be sold to a mother for how the baby would think about, like, how would she be making her baby getting ready. It could be for a person, a student who is coming into a corporate world, or it could be a person who is going through a midlife crisis, and then uh, motivating him or her to get up. So you need to define one person. It's not that you will limit the everyone else, but riches are in niches. So the more niche you would go, the more rich you would become. And please don't take me wrong. Rich people say, hey, I don't want to be rich. I just want to create impact in the world. So, Kevin, my friend, I would always say that the more money you are making, the
Or
more
impact.
impact you're
I know.
creating. So
You're,
it's
you're speaking to the choir.
exactly. So it's all about, you need to be ensured that people are ready to make you uh, pay you money. Then only you will be sure that you are creating some difference in the world.
I'm going to tell you, I set this podcast up in order to promote the living crap out of the two wonderful people that you are, and you ended up promoting my latest book, The World's Not Ready for You. I appreciate that, because the next question when we get off air, um, the book was not originally written to share with the world. I originally wrote that book, not for profit. I wrote the book in order to have my surviving nieces and nephews have an attachment to their mother that they lost. The book turned into something else. When I talk about, finding your audience, I've grown my audience organically, and now I need my audience to grow like bamboo. All right. And so I'm probably going to ask you, oh, not probably, I'm going to ask you, we're going to go to the next step. But I want to ask you this. And I'm trying to think about how I can ask you this. I was going to ask you, what's the last book you read? I just want to hear it one more time.
Go ahead, Shush. So let me answer it. So the last book was an amazing book. Everyone can do was The World Is Not Ready for You by Kevin McLeod.
All right, that's all right. I'm just having fun. So on this show, to our listeners, I want to say thank you for tuning in and listening to this. This has been an RMK production. We are showcased on YouTube under RMK Productions and Network. This platform, since I started this podcast, and it wasn't my intent, and I could probably use a marketing genius, I would have probably been as successful as Evan Carmichael and everyone else, but I did it the hard way because I wanted to grow it organically. I've always said, like I asked you earlier, I surround myself with very gifted people, people that give back, people that have a high call to action. My friends, if I call and ask for help, they don't ask what, why, or whatever. They just said, yes, and, just make sure you don't hurt me. And bringing that and introducing that conversation, when I said people, I only wanted people to follow me or to like me or to share my podcast. If you were one of those individuals that have a high call to action, I think I told you, and I have not made this public. The reason why that statement came about is because when I was told not to do something and not to be a good citizen, I discovered the one time I drove by someone that needed help, it was a family member. And then from that day on, I said I was always going to be a person that's ready, willing, and able. So with that said, when I said my friends don't drive by an accident, they stop and help. I'll tell you that story when you guys start your podcast, and I'll make that one of the feature stories. I've had 5 people have been answered this question, and I will ask you what your ask would be. ASK, not ASH, okay, ASK. And I said, if you have one dream that could come true and someone out in the world, on this universe, in this planet, could make that dream come true, what would your ask be? And I'm going to ask you, Ash, first, before I ask your wife, your lovely wife, what would that be? If you had to ask one ask.
So, Kevin, I think one ask would be enabling or bridging the gap for a lot of people who don't know what they don't know. So I just feel so much disappointed, and it kind of is very, very painful for me when I see that people who deserve the success are not able to become successful because of the knowledge parity, but they don't know that they don't know. So I would say the ask would be enabling people who are working, who are doing a lot of hard work, who have the capability to show them the way to achieve what they are really capable of. It could be serving the right people, it could be writing a book, it could be reading a book, or it could be starting a business, or it could be doing helping communities, creating impact. Whatever it could be, just increasing the capability quotient of the world is what I would ask for.
And Shush, how would you answer that question? It's a hard act to follow following your husband. I'm going to tell you that, but I would also say it's a hard act to follow you. And so I'm glad I'm just that little stuff that goes around the plate when you have a 5-course meal, the garnish, whatever. I am so happy to be with you too. So how would you answer that?
My answer would be absolutely very different from what Ash thinks and does. Is I would say my dream, when I see nowadays, I have seen it more apparent than it was earlier. We try to prove ourselves to the world to live up to what their expectation is. My dream would be if I can, and that would be like probably like, you have to change one life at a time, one story at a time. I mean, it would again come to my, for my future generation, I would say I want to dream about a place where people are happy and content with their own decisions. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. And no need to prove to the world that why you did it. And you know what? My decisions is something that is going to be at par some extent to your expectation. It doesn't have to be. We need to start accepting ourselves, and I learned it hard way, so I can say this, that it is easier to, we all have tough situations that we overcome, but it's all in us how we look at it. We want to look at it. So if I can, so my dream would be to teach the women and everybody, not the women, just women, everybody, that whatever you do, if you are content and happy and peaceful with your own decisions, you don't need to prove anything to the world. And when that proving goes away and that approval thing goes away, I think we will be at peace. And the day we will be at peace, I think all rest of the things will start falling in place. So that would be my dream, I can say. I have many dreams, but to be at par with your show, with where we are going, I mean, this is what I dream about, definitely.
Well,
And I
I want to.
always say that I want my upcoming book is, of course, it has, I'm waiting for some life events to accomplish, and then I will probably release it sometime next year or so, is for all the women out there in the world. Yes, you can have it all.
And you can definitely have it all. I appreciate the both of you. You know, I'm a podcaster's nightmare because everyone says that my podcast should be shorter, but I tell stories and I have people with stories that needs to be told. And sometimes these stories don't fit into the framework of a 25 to 45 minute framework. So I appreciate my listeners for riding with me. You guys probably will give me some marketing information in order to do it better, but I hope I addressed and shared your story in a way that you guys would be proud of. If there's anything that I did not share, because one, Shush, you did not tell me the title of your existing book, because I like to promote that. Ash, I'm going to ask you real quick when Shush tells us how to get her book and the name of her book and what her book's about. If you would close it out and just tell us how we get in touch with the two of you guys. Shush, your book.
So I have many books, but two of my books I'm extremely proud about is one book that I wrote with Ash, co-authored with Ash, that is Anyone Can Lead. And another book is Air Fryer Recipes. So that takes the part of my passion part into it. And that second book is very close to my heart is because I myself cooked all 103 recipes myself, original in my kitchen, to produce the book.
All right, all right. Maybe I should do a podcast with cooking and let you cook and talk and do the podcast and let's just promote the living crap out of the book. You know, Ash, you are a person that we should know. Shush, you are a person that we definitely should know. Didn't tell you this in the very beginning. I have a list and I set out this year to showcase and feature 100 of my closest friends that are living a highly successful life. I'm not talking about monetary, and I talk very little bit about money in here because I know if you look at the book, Think and Grow Rich, it wasn't about your bank account. It was about your life and your experience and how you shared your life with other people and those experiences. Emotionally, we have to all become rich. Mentally, we have to all become rich. Physically, we have to become rich beyond just environment. And when it comes down to our environment, we have to treat the environment as if the rich energy that it gives us, and we need to return that back instead of taking away from it and not bringing anything back. So, with that said, Ash, how do we get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So if anyone wants to get in touch, you can reach out to us at support SUPPORT at globalbookpublishing.com, GLOBALBOOKPUBLISHING.com. And I would just say just one message. A lot of people keep on thinking about that perfect book idea or that perfect manuscript. And I just tell them one line. Either you can keep on waiting to get that perfect idea, or share the one that you have today and start impacting the world from today itself. The choice is yours. And thank you so much, Kevin, for having us here. It was a phenomenal experience and we loved it.
Absolutely.
And thank you. As Shush is dropping the mic on the Talking with Kevin and Son, I would say to my listeners, I want to thank you for riding with me. This has been an extended version of Talking with Kevin and Son. Hey, we had a lot to share with you. And if you like what you heard, go to our YouTube page at RMK Productions and Network. If you like it, share it. If you really like it, you can follow. And if we've touched you in a way, listen to this over and over again, and listen to it when you have time in entirety. I want to thank my guests and my new friends, Ash and Shush. I want to thank you for creating global publishing. I want to thank you for giving the advice of how to get into this business and how to market and publish your book. But I also want to thank you for being up close and personal and sharing your story. If there's anything that I did not ask that you want to share with the audience before I sign off, Shush, anything you want to leave with the audience?
I think I'm good. We had a great time with you, Kevin, and I'm glad for all the questions you asked, and I'm just happy to be here.
And I thank the both of you. So my grandfather always said, when you get to a point in life that you can help someone else out, it is your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we will fade the blacks and we're out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.